Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 58.
On Now You Know. All right, before we get started, I want to give a big thank you to our buddy Jeff, who put on a great EV event this last weekend. We got to meet Elon.
Yes. Not Musk.
Oh, right.
But
could be the up and coming Elon of the next century. Mm-hmm. You never know. All right, so our first story is about the Hyperloop One. What happened?
It is no longer the Hyperloop One. It is now Virgin Hyperloop One.
What?
Yes. So the Virgin Group, founded by Richard Branson, just invested in the company.
Oh, that's exciting.
So
news.
Richard Branson, he owns Virgin Airlines, obviously. You've probably seen that.
He's got like Space Line that they've invested in.
Yeah, Virgin Galactic.
Yeah.
You know, kind
this
of
is
like
big news.
I think it's big news. It's definitely a good investment for him because once Hyperloop comes out, obviously airlines are going to be hurting. Because who wants to get on a plane and fly thousands of feet in the air when you could just get on a tube and go thunk?
Or get in a BFR and fly to the other side of the world in half an hour.
Right. So I think probably a good investment for Richard Branson.
Richard Branson said, "Ever since our creation, Virgin has been known for disruption and investing in innovative companies. From our airlines to our trains to our space line, we have long been passionate about innovation in transport too, especially the development of technology that could transform people's lives. This is just the latest example." Wow. I want to mention that Hyperloop One got an investment of about $160 million earlier this year, and we don't know how much Virgin invested in them.
Probably a lot.
Probably a lot if you get your name on there. So this is exciting. It means there's going to be a big push ahead, I would think.
Yeah, I would hope so.
So do we have any update on what's going on with Puerto Rico?
Yes, so we have a couple updates here. Okay. So the 27 megawatt San Fermin solar plant in Puerto Rico is fine. So we didn't know this, but we've just learned that there was a big solar plant on Puerto Rico, and it was basically designed to withstand 150 to 162 mile an hour winds. That's 250 to 260 kilometers per hour.
Wow. And how did it fare?
And it was fine.
Wow. So in Hurricane Maria, it lasted.
It lasted.
Wow. So, I mean, that means that solar works. I mean, even in a hurricane situation. Right. That's incredible. So, and that's a big system.
Right. And if you needed more proof that solar is hurricane proof for the most part, boom, there's more evidence.
Now, what are these pictures of power packs here?
So these are power packs that were spotted at the Puerto Rico airport.
Oh, wow.
So these are power packs. These are not power walls. Okay. Power packs are the sort of the utility sized ones.
They're the big ones.
260 kilowatt hours per pack.
Wow.
So a lot of power capacity being brought into Puerto Rico. Also, here are some pictures of Cal Langton, Tesla's Vice President of Global Infrastructure Operations. He met with Governor Rosello of Puerto Rico at the Government Command Center. So basically, they're going to be working out where to put these power packs.
I mean, so they already got them down there.
They already got them down there.
They're so fast to move.
Basically, they're going to be prioritizing hospitals in places where the power is really needed the most.
Okay.
But they're also working on some longer term plans of how to get Puerto Rico's grid better suited for, inhospitable weather and making it cleaner overall.
All right, so we recently did an episode on electric bikes, and we thought this was a cool bike. This is made by a company called Delfast, and this bike, kind of their little claim to fame here is, first of all, it's a Kickstarter, so you can go on and check out the bikes and maybe even buy one with their Kickstarter. It has a range, this bike, of 236 miles.
Yeah, and that is not pedal assist, that is like throttle.
Yeah, 380 kilometers.
Yeah, that's a big range. Like, I don't know if I'd be comfortable riding that long on a bike, honestly. But, I mean, that's amazing. So it has a 64 amp hour battery.
Wow, that's big.
Now, there's 3 different modes of this bike, or 3 different versions, levels, models.
Okay.
The Prime has the 236 miles of range.
Okay.
The top model has a slightly smaller battery, but a lot more power in the motors.
5,000 watt motor, I saw.
So that one's for giving it a lot of juice, and it has 174 miles of range. And then...
So wait, how fast can the 5,000 watt motor one go?
The 5,000 watt motor can go 50 miles an hour. So, I mean,
what?
Is this even a bike at this point?
I don't think legally in America it would be a bike.
Yeah. And then there is the light version, which has a much smaller battery, but it still gets you 112 miles, which is for a bike. I mean, I hear about people who go on like 40-mile biking extravaganzas, and I'm like, that is way too far for me. So, I mean, this is already huge. Yeah. I mean, this is already...
I've given this some serious thought because, I mean, the prices that you're going to see here on the Kickstarter are really good. So go check it out. It could be something you might be interested in getting. So is pumped hydro the solution for Australia?
An ANU engineering professor, Professor Andrew Blakers, has conducted a study looking into pumped hydro sites and has concluded that there are at least 22,000 suitable locations nationwide. Blakers said that if storage was built into just a tiny fraction of those places, Australia could transition to 100% renewable power within 2 decades.
So I love the idea because, hydro can be pumped renewably.
Right.
But I just want to talk about what it is for a second. So hydro is when you take a higher elevation of water, like a dammed up lake or something,
right,
and then you let the water flow down through a generator and you produce power. And then when power...
And then the water comes out at a lower level.
Right, now you have water at a lower level.
Right.
When the power is cheaper at night or with renewables, you pump it back up. And so it's
and
a
this
battery.
Is kind of a new idea, this pumping back up. Usually you'd have a dam on a running, some running water, like a river, a big river, like think the Colorado River, constantly flowing water. And the reason it's constantly flowing is that the atmosphere, the world, is actually, bringing that water back, snowing it back onto the mountains, it melts, all that sort of thing. What this is a lot faster, a lot smaller in scale because you are now pumping the water back up.
I guess my problem with this system is a few things. One is the capital costs. It's not a small, trivial thing to build one of these things. Generally, you need, this is a multi-year process that costs billions of dollars, and all you've done at the end of it is created the battery. Now you have to get the power lines to wherever you want to power, so that's a big problem. And then the third part for me is the single point of failure. So if anything goes wrong with the system, you've either created a giant broken dam that's going to flood people, or the generator stopped working. So I don't know if it's as great a solution as we think it is. I mean, I'm not saying it can't be used as part of the solution, but to say that you're going to take care of the whole country with hydro, I think it's a little misleading for people because I think they thought of your first example, which was that hydro is this wonderful thing, just takes rain from the sky and makes power. We just wanted to get the conversation started on what hydro pumping is all about, and we'll be covering it more in future episodes. All right, so Paris and the Netherlands are going to ban gas cars by 2030.
Now, wait a minute. I thought that France had already banned petrol cars by 2040.
Right, but Paris, the city government of Paris, just unveiled their ambitious plan to ban gas-powered vehicles from the city of Paris by the end of next decade.
Okay, well, how are they going to do that?
Well, I thought initially it would be just some kind of ban, like can't do it anymore, but what they're planning on doing is an incentive-based system. So right now in France, there's a major incentive to buy EVs, and this might be one reason why you're seeing the Renault Zoe becoming such a popular car. Right now, you are going to get a 6,000 euro incentive, that's $7,100, if you purchase an electric vehicle in France.
Yep.
And if you turn in your diesel-powered car to be scrapped, you'll get an additional 4,000 euros or $4,700. A Zoe is a fairly inexpensive car, so that's a great deal. So their plan is basically to make it so cost effective that basically why would you buy anything but an EV in the next 10 years?
It's not that you can't buy an ICE car, it's just that you'd be an idiot to do so.
Exactly. And also it's kind of exciting to see that not only is Paris doing this, but we just heard that the Netherlands are banning them as well by 2030.
That's awesome.
Oh, just a quick note here. Here's a chart of EV car sales in France for September. And as you can see, as I said, the Renault Zoe is by far the most popular car. The Model S Tesla is a distant fifth.
Yep. So you've probably already heard by now that Tesla has just fired hundreds and hundreds of employees. And you're probably worried because you're like, oh no, the Model 3, hasn't been coming out exactly to schedule. Are they just firing people willy-nilly?
Right. It's funny how the news loves to take two stories, put them together to make this monster story that is totally misleading.
Right.
The Model 3 is having a bottleneck, Tesla's firing people, it must be related. It is not related.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, we want to point out it's a big company. They do annual reviews of their employees.
Right.
just so happens that this is when the annual reviews have come due, and we don't have an exact number.
Right, there is no number. We don't know how many have been fired.
Right, we've only heard from individual employees who've given estimates, so it could be 400, it could be 700. We don't have a number.
Right, and the squeaky wheel is going to squeak the loudest, obviously, so the people who are being fired are going to say all sorts of things of like, this is unjust, this is unfair, when their performance reviews probably were a bit lackluster.
Yeah, as a spokesman for Tesla said, as with any company, especially one of over 33,000 employees, performance reviews also occasionally result in employee departures. Tesla is continuing to grow and hire new employees around the world. So all these employees that have been let go, they're going to be hiring new people to fill those positions.
Right, it's not a layoff. They're not not hemorrhaging workers just to make ends meet. You know, this is just part of business.
There was one employee who worked on the line in Fremont, and he was talking about why he got fired, and he was late a couple times in the past couple months, and that might have had something to do with it. So it's not that Tesla's just like angry and firing people. Oh, you're not making the Model 3 fast enough.
Right.
It's just you probably weren't cutting it.
Right. I mean, they're firing people at Solar City. They're firing people at the Palo Alto.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, these are not places where the Model 3 is being built. So I mean, you can't draw correlations where there are none. All right. So how are we going to get India to be electrified? This is
a great question.
We get so many comments, and I feel bad because I don't have any numbers, any data from our Indian viewers saying, when is Tesla going to come to India?
I know.
And I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's no plan in place for when Tesla's going to come into India. And then once they do come into India, how is that going to work? I mean, we don't know. And so this is sort of a different avenue, and I think a very locally grown Indian solution.
It is. It really is exciting. These two electric bike startups are both Indian based. So this first company, Ather Energy, they make the S340, which it looks like a traditional scooter.
Yeah.
The CEO and co-founder of the company, Tatun Mehta, he had this great quote here, which I just love. It shows that he understands what's going on.
Yeah.
Vehicles going electric is probably one of the biggest changes we will see in our lifetime, as big as the internet.
Right. I mean, this shows that the guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He can see the writing on the wall, and he basically wanted to start a company to do just that.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like a traditional scooter. It can go 70 kilometers per hour top speed. It has a touch screen with navigation. It has 1 hour charge time. Everything was designed and built in India except for the motor.
Right. So, I mean, this is a solution for how to electrify India that comes from India.
Yeah,
I think because Tesla was made, I would say, for California.
Right.
And it just so happens to work in a lot of other places around the world.
Yeah.
I don't think that Teslas are necessarily going to be the best solution for India. I don't think it's a one size fits all solution. And I think in India, where bikes and smaller vehicles are kind of the way to go, it's very smart to be making these electric bikes, and it's super exciting to see these cool scooters and stuff like that coming in.
And they're going to be more affordable. You can pre-order this hopefully by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's super exciting.
There's another motorcycle company in India called Torque. They are a startup that is making the T6X, and this is a really sporty looking bike.
Yeah, so I mean, they call it a performance bike. You can get up to 100 kilometers an hour. So, I mean, it's a respectable speed, 60 miles an hour highway kind of thing.
Yeah.
Again, 1 hour charging, 4.3 inch touchscreen for navigation. It's amazing how both of these companies are like, this is a great solution for India.
It really fits their client base.
Yeah, I mean, we heard an interesting statistic the other day that rural startups generally do better than startups that happen in cities.
That's true.
And I think that when you're in the area of your own expertise, you really are able to excel. And so I think that is why these are going to be pretty successful companies.
Can't wait to see these on the road. We'll show you some footage when we see them. There's a new law in California.
All right, what is it about?
Just signed by Jerry Brown, this new law is a zero-emission heavy-duty truck and bus law. So basically what this is saying that from now on in California, 15% of vehicles that have a gross weight of over 19,000 pounds, so that's big, heavy trucks and buses, that are bought by the state are going to have to be zero emission. And that is by 2025. By 2030, 30% are going to have to be zero emission.
Wow.
Now, why is this exciting? Because for most people, like buses, big trucks.
Right, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be driving it. It's going to be a state person driving it,
Right.
So, but it's because, according to a recent report from the Union of Concerned Scientists, at the Greenling Institute, heavy-duty vehicles account for 33% of California's smog-causing nitrogen oxide emissions.
Yeah, and 40% of harmful particulate matter is created by burning fossil fuels from these big trucks. Now, get this. Just 7% of the vehicles in California are these big trucks, but they contribute 20% of the global warming emissions.
Right, so this is a very smart law. You are pinpointing where, you can do the most good by doing the least amount of work, and bam! I mean, I cannot wait to see. And as we've seen, legislation causes massive shifts in, what people are going to be creating.
Model 3 news! Check out this stamping machine at the Fremont factory.
Wow, it is, honestly, it's a little scary.
Yeah, imagine if those are your hands moving the pieces in. I mean, the robot that's moving away as the stamper comes down is actually going down just as the
just
stamper...
to avoid this, basically, I think it's like a 10-story building that is just crushing this. Wow, that is optimization.
That is 960 pieces per hour or 7,600 parts per day.
Wow.
Just at this one press.
Wow, that is fast.
Next in Model 3 news is an update that just came out for the Model 3. And this email went out to owners. It said, to take advantage of this update, you will need to recalibrate the autopilot hardware on your vehicle by driving on a straight, well-marked road for a total of 50 miles. Please keep in mind that recalibration time can vary based on road types. After this calibration process, parallel and perpendicular auto park will be newly enabled and autopilot will resume normal operation. There is no need for a service visit.
Cool. So, I mean, we've been hearing off and on reports about, the software not being complete, autopilot not being functioning in some of the very early Model 3s. This email definitely makes me feel a lot better that we're going to be able to see that the Model 3s that are going to be hitting driveways all around the country are going to have autopilot.
Right. And Elon had been talking about this for months, that a lot of insurance companies in the country have been kind of overcharging people for insuring their Teslas. Well, now they've just signed a deal with Liberty Mutual Insurance Company. It's called Insure My Tesla, and here is the webpage here. You can go to it. You fill out some information, and they will give you a quote on your Tesla.
Right.
We've heard from some users that it's cheaper than what they're getting now.
Yeah.
So you should check it out if you have a Tesla or are thinking of getting one to see what your quote could be. Because they're going to take into consideration how much safer autopilot cars are.
Right.
And just the cars in general are.
Right. Because, I mean, automatic emergency braking, stuff like that, can make the car safer.
All right, it's time for the lightning round. NVIDIA's got a level 5 supercomputer.
Yes.
This is called Pegasus.
Ooh, the Pegasus. All right.
It delivers over 320 trillion operations per second, more than 10 times the performance of the PX2, which is in the Teslas now.
That is ridiculous.
25 companies are developing level 5 self-driving systems using NVIDIA chips.
Wow.
And its combined memory bandwidth exceeds 1 terabytes per second.
Wow, that is mind-frying.
Yes.
That is so...
If your mind gets fried, replace it with one of these.
I'm gonna need to. All right, so the number of charging points in France is over 20,000.
What?
This is one of the highest densities in Europe.
Wow.
So publicly available terminals are located in over 7,200 places.
Wow, France has got their act together.
They seem to definitely have their act together.
Yeah, and that's gone up because I remember last year, at the end of the year, it was 16,000. So now there's over 20,000?
Yeah.
So we were talking about California's law about big trucks. What is this big truck?
This is the Excelsior Charge.
Ooh.
This is a bus from New Flyer of America. It is a all-electric bus. It has realistic transit ranges of over 200 miles on a single charge.
Wow.
So there's a 40-foot, which it has a 600 kilowatt-hour battery.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Wow.
They also have a 60-foot articulated model, which has an 885 kilowatt-hour battery.
That's like having 4 power packs.
Yeah. This is basically like a mobile power pack.
Wow.
I mean, think of all the cool things you can do with this thing.
So did you know that Tesla beats BMW, Ferrari, and Mercedes-Benz?
Yeah, I mean, we have all seen them completely smoke those cars.
Oh, no, I don't mean in speed. Like, we knew that. No, I'm talking about the global best brand list. This is for the second year in a row. This is the list where all the global brands kind of compete for best experience, and for the second year in a row, Tesla has gotten the best automotive brand experience.
Wow, so I mean, they beat like Porsche, and wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. They're number one of the car companies. It's all scored based on create, deliver, engage, and strive.
Those are all very Tesla-y things.
So what's up with SpaceX this week?
They stuck another F9 landing.
Yeah, of course they did.
Whatever. Boring. We've all seen it. You've all seen a rocket land on the ground before, right?
But I mean, this was the third commercial reuse of the recovered Falcon 9.
That's
the third reused of the rocket.
It's probably one of the cheapest space launches, honestly, because
Yeah.
I mean, can you believe it? This is the only time that you've launched the first stage of something and it's been relaunched again. I mean, it's amazing.
It is amazing.
There's a new LG battery factory plant that is going to be coming online in Poland. It should be completed next year. It would support 100,000 EVs per year.
Wow.
Of production. So that's pretty good.
That's in addition to their plants in South Korea, in the United States, and in China. They're going to totally make 280,000 EV batteries per year once this goes online.
Right. That's awesome.
Wow. Tesla releases camper mode?
Yeah,
What's
so basically if you want to camp inside your Tesla, there have been some workaround ways of where you can keep the AC on all night, but they've been a little bit, under the radar kind of, put your car in neutral and put the emergency brake kind of thing. This is going to be in actual camper mode that is, official, and you don't have to worry about rolling down the side of a mountain.
Nice. Also, there will be the ability to adjust the distance to which HomeLink automatically opens a door gate. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
All right, it's time for the Patreon bonus story. So what is the Patreon bonus story?
Well, if you have gotten this far through the news and you want to continue watching some more of our coverage of the news, you can go over to patreon.com. So either you are not going to see a Patreon bonus story. That is because you're not a Patreon supporter.
Oh, how do you become one?
So to become a Patreon supporter, you can support us for as little as $1 a month, and you'll be able to see the Patreon bonus stories. There's also other perks, so maybe you'd like to support us more.
Yeah, maybe you want a signed poster.
Yeah. So for those of you who are supporters, head over to patreon.com. You will magically, as soon as you sign in, see our latest Patreon bonus story. We're going to talk about something cool that's in the news. Let's go do it. We'll be right back.
We're back from our Patreon bonus story of the week, and we want to give a shout out to our awesome Patreon supporters. Here's 5 of them.
Sean Ravine,
Josh Fisher,
Slawek Chimleweski,
James Long Jolie,
and David Adams.
I went to school with him.
No way.
I went to high school. Yeah, go Wolfpack.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's time for our viewer comments of the week, and let's just read the comment first.
Yeah, all right, here we go. Got a new app, as always. Everyone believes that this is an app, right? I mean, you don't think that Brent and Bobby edit this or something, spend a really long time having to do green screen and editing. Just anyway, it's an app. Don't worry about it. It's an app. Let's see what it is.
This week's comment comes from Paul Saez, and he says,
I miss the old set and the info frame.
Okay. I get that. That's fair.
Yeah.
So we did change a couple things recently. So the first is that we are obviously not sitting in Sparky. Here's the thing. When we first got Sparky, you couldn't pry us out of Sparky.
Right. First of all, there were no other Model X's around.
No.
You couldn't just find one and sit in it to do the show. So we thought that was pretty cool.
Pretty cool. We did a lot of driving in some of our episodes.
Yes,
and stuff
in the
that.
very beginning, we were driving. And
Right,
one
and
of us would read the news and the other person would be like,
Right.
Yep, I agree, I'm driving the car.
And we've been trying to improve, so we have, a teleprompter and stuff like that. But what you don't see in the car is that it's either really hot, or it's really cold.
Right.
We can't blast the air conditioning or the heat because...
Right. We have to sit in this car for about 2 hours
Right.
to do both in-depth and Tesla Time News every week. So it first of all, we have to bring everything out to the car, including cameras,
Lights.
batteries, cards,
Right.
teleprompter, microphones, headphones, and then we forget something.
Always, every week.
Always.
So, that's part of it. Also, we can do a much better production job in here. Also, the Model 3 is going to be coming very soon, and I'm sure we're going to be sitting in that thing for a year. So
Maybe. I think we're going to sit in it a little bit less, maybe 3 episodes, because let me just tell you, it is so nice to have these lights. Let me just show you what it's like
he likes turning on and off the lights.
without the lights. Do you see the difference? Like, we'd be out in the dark.
Yeah, I also want to mention things like rain. I want to mention the fact that like bugs. So yeah, that's. And then a lot of you mentioned that you would rather us go back to showing the side menu.
Right.
But what we've done is we've put the names of the stories at the bottom, and so you can fast forward through and pick out the stories you want to watch that way. We think that's a good way because we'd like to maximize screen size for you. A lot of the things you guys are watching on are small, and they have small screens, and so we want to give you as much screen space as possible. So, you know, we're always evolving, we're always changing. Hopefully you like it.
Right.
Please bear with us.
Yeah.
We're always trying to make things work better for you and for us.
Yes.
All right, superchargers. This is the amazing part of Tesla that people don't understand fully, so we love to tell you about all the new ones.
And this is the amazing part of our show.
Yes.
Because here are real people in the world who took some time, took a camera, took their phone, whatever, filmed a supercharger location and send it to us. Let's take a look.
Hello, Zach and Jesse. This is Dave again, here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And I'm here in front of the 8-slot Tesla Supercharger. It's inside of this downtown parking structure. Around is typical things you'd find downtown, food, coffee, those kinds of things.
Hey, Zach and Jesse, Logan Davis from my YouTube channel Logan's Life here, coming to you from Traverse City, Michigan. This is a 10-stall Tesla Supercharger, and we have a Meijer over here. There is a gas station over there. Obviously you won't probably need one, but yeah, this is a 10-stall. I believe it's 120 kilowatt hour. Come on over to Traverse City. This is the Meijer out by 31, so come on over and charge.
Hello, Zach and Jesse, this is Alexander speaking. Here we are at the Dugoselo Supercharger. We have here 6 stalls at the gas station. Nearby we have restrooms, we have small shop when you can take a coffee break, whatever. Greetings to all your fans around the world, and hopefully we will see each other very soon.
Thank you so much for sharing those with us.
That's awesome.
I just love watching them every week.
I love it.
Let's get to the new superchargers.
Before we get started on the permanent superchargers,
correction.
last week we made the wrong move. See, we read this off of a teleprompter, and we saw that it was, what was it?
Eaton, WA, which I thought meant Eaton, Washington.
Washington, because it's West Australia.
Yes.
So that was our fault.
So, I mean, thank you for the correction. It is in Eaton, Western Australia. So what's permitted this week?
All right, so this week, permitted in Kriegstetten, Switzerland.
Also in Poncha Springs, Colorado.
Owen Sound, Ontario, Canada.
Richmond, Virginia.
Leicester Forest, East, southbound, UK.
I'll pronounce the next one as Leicester Forest, East, northbound, UK, and that way one of us will be wrong. All right, anything under construction?
Yes, the Lone Tree Park Meadows #2, Colorado. Now is Lone Tree, is that the name of the town? Or is Park Meadows the name of the town? Park Meadows #2?
Right.
There's 2 of them? I don't know.
Tell us. Please let us know why that would be. And then also under construction in Sherburne, Minnesota.
All right, open this week, number 1016 in the world, 218 in the Asia Pacific, 6-stall in Gwangju, South Korea.
Next is a 5-stall. Now this is the first that I've heard of a 5-stall that I know of, but so maybe we're wrong, but it's a 5-stall in Seoul in Jamsil, South Korea.
Number 417 in the US, a 4-stall in Brooklyn, New York.
Nice. North 12th Street. Awesome. Number 1019 in the world, 418 in the USA is a 14-stall in Salinas, California.
Number 1020 in the world, 419 in the US, a 10-stall in Sacramento, California.
Number 420 in the USA, number 1021 in the world is an 8-stall in Laramie, Wyoming. Awesome.
Awesome. Hey, if you are thinking about getting a Model S or an X, please use our referral code.
Hey, what about if you're getting a solar system?
You can also use our referral code. It is down in the description below.
Okay, what do you get for using our referral code for a solar system?
So you're going to get a 5-year extended warranty for your solar system.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Now, what if you're getting an S or an X? Well, let me tell you, you're going to get a test ride in the Tesla Roadster, the next generation Roadster that's coming out.
So Tesla's You just go to a Tesla superstore.
No. We are going to get one.
Who's we?
You and I, Zach and Jesse. From now, you know, we're going to drive to your house.
What?
We're going to give you a test ride if you use our referral code to get a Model S or X.
Excuse me 1 second. That's a lot of work. The country's huge, okay? And we would have to drive.
We're going to be going to southern Canada as well. So if you live in southern Canada, let us know, and we can sort of work something out.
What if we don't get it? I mean, what if they just stop using the referral code? That's a good answer. Just stop using our referral code, and then we won't have to.
No, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it, and we're gonna.
We're not even close though, right? I mean, we're not even close.
We are
to
over 50% of the way there. So please use our referral code. We're very excited.
Hey, you know, if you're thinking about getting solar on your roof, there's this cool video we did a while back. Not many people saw it, but it's really well done. Lots of drone shots and stuff. It's about installing solar panels here at our house.
Yes. So it's our story basically.
Yeah, it's the story of how we did it. So check it out. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please remember to like and subscribe. I know a lot of you might forget to do that. Don't forget it.
Yeah, subscribe. It's free.
It's free.
It's free. It doesn't cost you anything.
Nope.
And you can unsubscribe whenever you want. Basically, just lets YouTube know that you want to see more of our videos, which hopefully you do.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Now you know.